Hi there, Leos. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Astrogirl, and we're looking at February 23rd through March 1st. And it's really one of those weeks that you are going to love, actually, a month where you're going to get a lot out of pretty much everything you do. And that's because Venus, the goddess of love, and Mars, the planet of energy, are both going to be transiting Aries for the next month or so. And that, of course, is your fire cousin, and it's transiting your ninth house of higher education, overseas travel, and long distance relationships. For example, if you're in a long distance relationship with somebody and Valentine's Day, the holidays, it can be very difficult. You may make a decision over the next couple of weeks that something's got to give. And that, of course, could be that you decide that you're going to move, you're going to get a job, you're going to be with your one and only, or they have to come here. It really depends. Or alternatively, you're going to give yourself some space and date other people and not be so gung-ho on making something work, which is, could be 3,000-4,000 miles apart or even more. I know people who fly from LA to New York every weekend. I just don't understand how one does it. It's quite a trip, and it's an adjustment, and it's a weather adjustment, but people do it because they're in love. But as soon as the love starts to wear off, they find other things to do on the weekend. And this is one of those times when your love will be tested a little bit, because there's going to be so much passion, so much romance, that if you're not feeling it, then you're not going to get into it as much. So just know that. It's also a great time if you've been thinking about having a overseas foreign exchange student come and stay with you, or hosting a foster child or something like that. You're very, very keen to learn about other cultures, visit other cultures, as well as, spiritually develop. All of that is ensconced in your ninth house. Keeping in mind that this is a very short month. We've hit March 1st already by this weekend. And with Venus and Mars trining Saturn and Neptune's clouds drifting in from the sun, it makes for a rather complicated situation, because these two alignments have very different influences. First, Venus and Mars coupled together in fiery Aries make a balanced trine to Saturn, which is in fiery Sagittarius. So there is a nice fire thing happening there. You, of course, have Jupiter out of phase in your sign. Although any Saturn involvement can sometimes mean a delay, it's also a serious motivator for success, because it strengthens your physical and mental endurance levels. So far, things are looking good, but later on Wednesday, the Pisces Sun is scheduled for its yearly meet-up with Neptune. Although the Sun and Neptune only get together once a year for a short 2-day meeting, the influence of this combination can be significant if it happens to be on the same day that you're trying to make an important decision. This Sun-Neptune combination is like a lighthouse in the fog. It can either illuminate or obscure. This doesn't mean you should stay inside and cover your head, but you might have to dig deep inside to see the light that lies ahead. Make a space to be alone and let your intuition be your guide, Leos. If you get caught up in a do-or-die situation, take a tip from the Saturn trine and proceed with caution. And that's always really the best thing anyway, is proceeding with caution. I think sometimes, especially after Mercury was retrograde and we were all in such a funk and nothing was going right, and now that things are starting to move forward again, we're all gung-ho to, fix everything and run around and see everybody and be everything to everybody. However, we can't. We have to just slowly slide back into it and not get too caught up in that passion that Mars and Venus in Aries tend to produce. More on that later. And we have a full moon in Pisces next week, and I'll be telling you more about that. Have a great week, Leos.